Hey everybody, welcome back to the Best Coin News channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. In today's Numismatic News and Information for the 31st day of December 2023, that's right, it's the last day of the year. Can you believe it? We got here so quickly. Well, I'm going to take you over to moneymetals.com, show you where the spot prices ended the week on Friday. Then we're going to hit up the bullion sales at the United States Mint. Then we're going to go to numismaticnews.com. That's right, and we're going to check out what they believe is going to be going down for 2024. And I think they've hit the nail on the head for the most part. And now after that, we'll go to the plus ones, and we'll talk about the fund show a little bit. But before all that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs. That's right, maybe 300 million if we're lucky, to sell, well, the Son of a Silver Stack of merchandise on the official YouTube store right over here. Now, with that said, let's get busy with it over here to moneymetals.com. Gold ended the week at $20.7425. And what's interesting about that, I mean, we're talking all-time highs for gold, but we're definitely not talking all-time highs for silver. I think there's a huge disconnect. In fact, silver is, well, that's been flat for all of 2023. We started the year at about this price, $23.99.97. We're ending the year at $23.99. We cannot say that for gold. Now, platinum ended the year at 10,000 or 1,006 and 10 cents, and palladium ended the year at 1134.10 as well. You're looking at an in-stock American Silver Eagle whose premium is $7.99. They're going to sell those to you for $31.98, and they'll buy them back for $25.59 each. Now, over here to the bullion sales at the United States Mint. Sales totals by month are updated every weekday by 5 p.m. Yep, I don't think we're going to get any more sales here. I mean, yeah, we could see some stuff on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. That's the second and third. But after that, I think that's it for the month of December. That's all you're going to get. And we can finally do the video where we can compare and contrast the bullion sales from the last few years. Now, over here to that Numismatic News article. This is by Patrick A. Heller, dated December 28, 2023. Title of this article is Expect Volatility in 2024. Absolutely, I concur completely with what's going on here. Now, he says, there was volatility aplenty in 2023. In my judgment, financial markets will be even more volatile in 2024, resulting in a more turbulent than typical numismatic market. Now, there's a lot of factors going on here, folks, as far as the markets, the geopolitical atmosphere, and, well, let's just say jobs, money, and inflation. They're all something we need to be paying attention to, and especially real estate. Yeah, I think that's where we're going to see the biggest hit this year is in commercial real estate. Because if you, let's face it, commercial real estate is a little bit different. They sign longer lease, maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years on commercial real estate. They don't do onesie twosies, all right? They commit a much longer term than they would residential real estate. And let's face it, during the pandemic, you had folks, were, hey, go ahead and work at home. And if you're a company that has a lease on a building, you own a building and you're paying a mortgage on it, and nobody's even in the office, and half of them work at home and half of them work in the office, you need to downsize. Well, with that said, you're going to be paying for a lot of square footage that you don't need, and you might be trying to get out of that. And if you do try and refinance or purchase another building, the interest rates are a lot higher now. So we are in a precarious time. All right, now it says here, numismatic items are not part of life's necessities. You cannot eat them, drive them, or live in them. Numismatic purchases are often discretionary, meaning that funds will not be available for them until the costs of living, like food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and transportation, all right, are covered. And when they say shelter, I'm sure they mean electricity, water, those types of things as well. Now, when economic times are tough, there are likely to be more collector pieces liquidated to help pay for life's essentials. Now, back in the Great Depression and in World War II, life was kind of tough for some people. And believe it or not, that's the time when actually some collectors made they put together extraordinary collections at that time. And even some folks sold their coin collections for face value. Yeah. Imagine that, if you could pick up these amazing coins for face value. I don't know if that's possible anymore. They might be a little bit over face, but people are taking their coins to banks. That's why sometimes you'll see proof in a bankroll. You're like, what? How did this get here? Yeah. So maybe, just maybe, you can get them for face, especially newer quarters, older quarters that look new. They've been sitting around in rolls forever, 50 years, 60 years. Yeah, that's possible too, and that's why you could also find silver. So I believe that this will be an opportunity for coin collectors if you can hold on to it with tight fists, all right? And that would be probably something I would hold on to the most, if anything, because once we get out of the recession, once we get out of that, I think that, well, will have that value come back to these coins, all right? Now, it says here, many people were forecasting that the U.S. economy would be in a recession for 2023. Top government and Fed officials are claiming that it did not happen. However, last week, the latest monthly index of leading economic indicators, basically, report showed that it fell for the 20th consecutive month. Yowza. So that's not really good, no matter what they're saying as far as the, building back. This index is a major signal of a coming or existing recession. There it is, folks. That's the R word. The last time this index had fallen this consistently or constantly was during the Great Recession. That's 2007 to 2009. Even though the politicians are trying to change the definition of recession, there's a likelihood that the U.S. has been in one for a year or so. So don't, you can, yeah, I'm not going to get into that one. I almost said something. Now, from where we are now to what we're experiencing in 2024, look for economic forecasts to be all over the map. Absolutely. Some will be political economic forecasts to make themselves look better than they really are. And some will be actually spot on, right? So it's really hard to figure out which ones. So you got to go with your gut. You got to realize that you got to do your own due diligence. You got to do your own forecasting and what's right for you. Now, with the forecast so wide ranging, that is the first indicator that this coming year may be quite volatile. Think about that, folks. Lots of stuff going on here. U.S. government spending for military actions in Ukraine and the Middle East are just one area of political and economic uncertainty coming in 2024. All right, U.S. residential home market is a slump, as is the commercial real estate market. There's nearly $900 billion of commercial real estate debt that comes due in 2024. If refinanced, almost all of it would be renewed at far higher interest rates. That's exactly right. The owners of this commercial real estate would have the option to inject more funds into the property to refinance at higher rates, much higher rates, or to default and walk away from the properties, as has already been happening to commercial real estate in downtown Frisco. Did you say Frisco? A survey of nearly 5,000 U.S. banks found that about a sixth of them have outstanding commercial real estate loans exceeding 300% of their total capital reserves and construction loans of more than 100% of their capital. That is bad news. All right, these debts have higher default rates than other forms. Yowza. So further, the default rates on vehicle loans and credit card debt are now already higher than pre-pandemic levels. And our credit card debt I think it's at $1 trillion. And that is for the very first time in the history since ever. And what that basically means is that, well, guess what? People are living on their credit cards. They're not using the money that they earn in their income. They're existing beyond that. And at some point, people are going to have reached their limit on that credit card. And then where will we be? Because once that credit runs out, yeah, that's getting pretty gnarly. Now, also vehicle loans. I imagine there'll be tons of, what do they call that? Repos, right? Repossessions of cars from the people who are not paying on their vehicle loans. In fact, I've seen recently, you remember during the pandemic, it was really tough to get an automobile. In fact, most car lots were empty. Now you'll see commercials where you get 90-day, no payments with 0% financing. They are looking to make deals right now. But I think by February, those deals are going to be looking like chumps, because they're going to sweeten those deals for cars and used cars. You won't even believe what I've been seeing out there. Corporations facing maturity of their debts are also facing higher interest rates if they choose to renew. That's right. And also if the banks are willing to extend the credit as they are tightening their lending standards. If instead they scale back operations and minimize paying higher taxes or higher interest rates, this will hurt the number of job holders. That means they're going to cut right where they can, and they'll get rid of people who are, they call, non-essential. But not only that, I mean, if you think about it, the maturity of the debts. What about the zombie corporations? Okay, so there's companies out there that have taken loans just to stay in business because they're not making any money, and then they take out a new loan to pay off the old loan so they can operate still, right, further still, and continue that zombie corporation. But what happens when the interest rate goes up like it has? All right, these zombie corporations can't get the money they need to operate. And therefore, a lot of maybe 20, 50, 30% of these companies are going to go out of business. Yeah, that's not good for the job holders either, is it? Man, oh man. As for the job market in 2023, the greatest number of new jobs came in the expansion of government employment. There you go. There was also a record number of part-time jobs as people were forced to take second jobs to help meet living expenses. And I think a really great part-time job actually is delivering pizzas. Some of those people make $100 a day. Can you dig it? Yeah, not too bad. Now, full-time breadwinning jobs in the private sector outside of healthcare. I wonder why I said that. were relatively stagnant in 2023. Don't expect a better 2024. So in 2024, there could be a surge of people selling their numismatic holdings to help pay for living expenses. And I think that's our opportunity to purchase them, to build our collection. All right. Now, not necessarily, I don't think that's a bad thing, but I would say at least, there's going to be people just taking it to the bank to turn it in for face value. And I'm not saying hang out at the bank looking for people to bring in a box or an old collection of coins, but I would definitely maybe put an ad, out there if you're interested in building your numismatic collection, saying, hey, are you hard up for cash? I'll buy your coin collection. I think that's a great opportunity for people to build their collections. Is it called taking advantage of somebody when they're down? Maybe, maybe not. That's up to you. But there could also be a surge of buying interest, especially for gold and silver, as the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar continues to plummet. Now, I think that the U.S. dollar plummeting, I think we're going to see that, especially when the Fed pivots, and then the interest rates go lower or stay the same. Because we know what happens to gold and the dollar when interest rates go up. That's right, the dollar gets more valuable and gold loses its value. Well, look at gold right now. And this is the most interesting time we've seen for gold since ever, because we're at all-time highs. So when they start lowering interest rates, the dollar's going to lose its value, right? It's going to plummet. And that's an ugly word right there, plummet. That's one of those God words, devil words, right? Now, when you mix all this uncertainty together, for 2024 could be an especially volatile year for the economy and for numismatics. Yowza. So there it is, folks. What do you think? A lot of uncertainty going on. Now, with that said, just a quick heads up. The fun show, that's right, countdown to the next fun show. That's going to be, here we go, 4 days, 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 45 seconds. That's the 69th Annual Fun Convention, and it will be held January 4. And I think the opening ceremonies start at 9:45 or 9:30, and I will be there with the Son of a Silver Stacker sticker with this emblem on my chest, duct taped to my chest. I know it sounds funny, but I couldn't get a t-shirt, but I heard other people's got t-shirts or hoodies already, and I think that's awesome. Thank you for that. Now, let's go to the plus ones, folks. Bam! This is to do with prayer, all right? This is important, because when you pray quickly, because, well, when I'm talking to the Lord, all right, let me just start over. Back it up. When I pray quickly because I'm talking to the Lord. But when I read the Bible, I read it slowly because the Lord is talking to me. And I always pray in a room with windows to remember the world outside. And I think what that means to me is we don't just sit back and wait for the Lord to do something. We got to pray to see with the Lord's eyes, to see where and what we might be called to do. That's why you got to have those windows and see the outside world, because it isn't just all about the internal, it's also the external. Because remember, when you get to the pearly gates, the Lord's not going to ask you, hey, did you go to church? Were you a churchy person? Or they're going to be like, did you believe in me? No, I think the first question is, how did you treat your fellow man? Yeah, that's it right there. Now, let's get over here to 395.99.9. KOIN Coin News Radio. This is Smash Mouth, one of my favorite bands. And I think I knew all the lyrics to all their songs when I saw them in concert. My wife was like, I didn't know you liked this band so much. And I'm like, yeah, it's Smash Mouth. They're epic. Now, this is Pacific Coast Party. This is a great song for the New Year's. If you want to save it and wait till tonight to play it at midnight, that's all good. If not, just party your day off. And I guess what I'm trying to say is enjoy your moments here on earth. You know what I'm saying? Don't miss a party. With that said, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you're hearing, sub the channel. It's free. And if you are a subscriber, well, have you considered becoming a member? It's $1.99 a month. That's really not that lot. It really isn't. Especially, what can you buy for it? What, like a burrito at Taco Bell? Maybe a taco at Taco Bell? That's one burrito. You're feeding me a month. That's awesome. Anyway, appreciate all y'all. Happy New Year. Stacker out.